And we are back. Episode 18 of the Third Leg Podcast. I'm your host, Riley Warren, and as always with me is my co-host, Dr. Dunny. How you doing? How you been, buddy?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's been a nice couple days getting right after the NFL today, but kind of talk about the Tigers game over the weekend if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely, man. How was it?
It was we'll say good once the game finally got on the way. We were under a rain delay for quite some time, so um we spent some money on some ponchos and sat
Some
underneath the
extra beers waiting around.
definitely, definitely. So
How
the
long was
game
the wait?
I think about an hour and 15, hour 20.
Oh, that's not so
Um,
bad. That's just another hour to tailgate.
right, exactly. We were actually in the stadium already. So we parked at Greektown. Uber picked us up, was going to take us to Hockeytown to get a couple, brews before getting to the game. The guy drives down next to Ford Field. Obviously, that road's closed. So instead of letting him take an alternate route, I was like, we'll just get out and walk. So we ended up just going into the stadium. So it was an expensive day, but all in all, it was tons of fun. Once the rain stopped, everything got going. The rain did come in the first inning, which is how or the Tigers scored in the first inning, and that was pretty much it for the rest of the game because the Tigers threw a combined no hitter, first time ever in franchise history. I think ninth overall as far as no hitters for the Tigers. So I got to see that historical, awesome to see. The place was electric on a couple of the plays. There was a couple diving plays and catches far out in the outfield. So it was cool, for my girlfriend's niece, her first Tiger game, it was this combined no hitter. So it was pretty
Wow.
cool.
How lucky. I've had to witness 45 losses before I would get that. That's good though.
Right.
You know the people that stuck around for the game and that went to the game were, having a good time inside the stadium once the game got rolling.
Right. The one bad thing about that the Tigers did to me was I because the game was I was there at the game. I knew it was raining. I was like, okay. It went on Prize Picks. I put in a 5. I took every under that I could find. The only under I could find for the Tigers pitcher was pitches thrown. So he needed to go 89 or under. He threw 91 pitches and
Oh
then they
my
pulled him.
god.
So I hit on a 4 out of 5, but it would have been 5 out of 5 if they
That's
would have pulled
wild.
him 2 pitches earlier. Yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, you got to witness a no-no
Right.
and they've had less than 10 in their entire time in the majors. So the fact that you got to witness one of them, that's dope.
It was awesome. That was Saturday, and then Sunday the MLB draft went off. The Tigers had the third pick. They took Max Clark, which, for those who don't know, highly touted high school player. He's going to play probably the outfield. They're looking at center field probably, which Riley Green's already there, and he's one of our best prospects and performing very well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens once Max Clark kind of develops. He's only I think 18 right now. Hopefully they can be the the two guys in the outfield that you can count on for 10 plus years together. So that'll be really cool to see. People wanted him to take someone who was, a highly touted college player or someone who performed in college well. But as you can see, sometimes it's not always the way you have to go. You got to take the max potential. And Max Clark had the max potential for pick 3. So we took him. Hopefully it turns out well for us.
Yeah, take the younger kid. Hopefully it pans out. I mean,
Amen.
it's kind of hard with baseball. There's so many fucking players, and having a top pick may not even matter.
Right.
You might not see him if he's a stud for 3 or 4 years. So it's hard to tell if these kids are going to pan out or not, especially when you're drafting them at 18, 19, 20 years old.
Right. And I feel like, the number one pick from last year, I don't know if he's even close to the MLB this year. So, like, you never know.
Right. It doesn't really matter unless it matters.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, man. I remember one time me and Hanny went to a Tigers game and it rained for an hour before the game. And then we got in there second inning, it rained for another hour. And this was old MLB, so the games are already 3 hours. We were there
Right.
for damn near 6 hours and they lost. So your situation seems really, really good from my
It,
point of view.
it was really, really good. So, Then we walk to Greektown because there's nothing else to do. Might as
Oh
well go to
yeah,
the
of course.
casino.
I mean, I guess we'll go to the casino.
Right.
Do
Got
our
to.
thing. Do our thing. They got a good sports book over there?
They do. Barstool's actually
Oh
in
yeah, I
Greektown.
forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's dope. I haven't been there. It's got to be dope.
it is. Actually, Saturday after the game was the most empty I've ever seen that sports book. You could have actually walked in and got a table. So I was like,
Wow,
oh, damn. Okay.
that's what I need. I need the tables if I'm in the Nino. I can't
Right.
be sitting on slots.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
If I sit on slots, I'll be out of there real quick because I can't stop fucking hammering it.
Take a little break. Okay, 5 seconds goes by.
The
Time to go
only
again.
break I have is going to get another drink.
Amen.
That's damn near the
Amen.
only break I got.
Yep.
Get a drink and pissing. Other than that, I'm slapping the board.
For sure. For sure, buddy.
Well, enough with the Tigers. Let's move on to a little NBA before we hop into the NFL division breakdown. Wemby actually bounces back.
Right. Crazy. We were talking about how, oh, God, game one, he looked like, a little school kid out there who wasn't ready for the stage. And then he said, big to you guys, I'm the guy. I am the guy. Bounce back 27-12, 3 blocks, 9 of 14 from the field. What you expected from him in game one, he showed you in game two. So
Yeah, it's a
good for
monster
the
game.
Spurs. Right.
Absolute
Absolutely.
monster game for a summer league game. And now he's averaging like 3.5 blocks a game. They seen what they needed to see from him, and they're like, all right, take your ass back to the gym. Our gym. You're not leaving. We'll
Right.
see
We're
you.
not
We'll see
risking
you.
you getting
Yeah.
hurt.
We'll see when the regular season starts. I think they had to play him until like he had a good game. Just to like get the weight off his shoulders and the media off his ass.
Right. Show everyone like, okay, he can get pushed around a little bit and be just fine.
Yeah, and he said, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but he was like doubling down, saying like the Euro League's a lot more physical than the NBA, which everyone has said. Lucas said it before, and people
Right.
bashed him. And then the NBA players go play over there for the USA, and then they're bitching about how physical it is and where's the fouls. And you watch the game, and they're bitching more than they do in the NBA. So
Right.
I do believe that. I seen people like just giving them shit. Like you had a bad, you've only had one good game out of two, and you're gonna say the NBA's off basically. And it's just like, he's not really saying that. He's just saying, he's played enough already and has been able to tell how close and how ticky tack fouls are compared to the other league.
Right. I mean, him and Luca both have been playing the professional level for a long time,
Yeah.
and it's not something as 16, 17, 18-year-olds in America we get to do. So they're used to it. They've been playing against grown men for a while.
Yeah, exactly. I was happy to see it though. I am really excited for Wemby, and it kind of like just hurt me as a sports fan to see him not do well in his first game and then just see like the cloud just rush over his head
Yep.
and the media on his back. So it was cool to just, see him show out, tell the media it's piss off. I'll see you in the regular season.
Right. I'm going back to San Antonio, and that'll be it.
Yep, going back. Tony Parker. We're gonna watch the VODs and we'll be back.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we didn't have much sports talk before the NFL division breakdown. We just wanted to get the Tigers game and the little Wemby out of the way. So today we are focusing on the NFC North, which consists of the Packers, the Bears, the Vikings, and the Lions. So we're just going to run through the initial odds of winning the division and then their total record and maybe just a few games we highlight throughout their season.
Yeah, absolutely. So just going straight down the line that we have listed, Green Bay Packers to win the NFC North plus 475. They are the highest odds out of all the four teams. Chicago Bears plus 425, Minnesota Vikings plus 250, and your Detroit Lions or Detroit Degenerates, plus 130 to win the division. I think the first time in our lifetimes that they've ever been favored.
Yeah, I do think that is the first time ever they've been favored preseason win. Do you see any discrepancies in this, or do you think this is pretty
Truthfully,
straightforward?
I think the Green Bay Packers should be higher odds. Um, I don't think them and the Bears will be as close as what the Vegas books are, I guess, predicting. It just based on how I break down the schedule for them. So between those two teams.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. I think if there's any discrepancy, it's the Packers are a little too tight here. They should be like a plus 575 at least.
Right.
But
And
other
go
than
ahead.
that, I feel like it's straight.
It'd be interesting to see, like, okay, I'm not sure if Gino on Bet Openly has odds for division winners, but what his odds, like his sports book, would be compared to, like the DraftKings or FanDuel, wherever we found these at.
Yeah, these were from DraftKings, but we'll definitely have to look into that. He always has better odds, so
He does,
regardless, it will be better.
for sure. For sure. All right, but okay. What do you got for Green Bay? What's their record? What do you think? And then give a little recap there.
All right, so let's start off. We got the Packers. I agree with Vegas. I believe they're going to be the worst team in the division. I think they're going to be significantly worse than projected, though. I have zero faith in the Green Bay Packers. I have zero faith in Jordan Love. The fact they traded up to go get Jordan Love, and this is the season he's got to perform to prove it, is going to be atrocious. Their record or their schedule is extremely tough, especially on the road. I think that Aaron Jones and Dylan are going to literally get their legs ran off. Like they're going to run 30 plus times a game, and they're going to hope that Jordan Love doesn't throw 2 picks a game. And they're going to rely completely on defense. If they don't score more than 24, 27 points, they will lose. I think they're going to end up 3-14. I think they are literally going to need an old school Bear style of football to be able to win more than 3 games. They're going to have to hold teams to under 20 points, under 17 points, and win these like super close football games that are just relied on field position, punting, and special teams more than offense and defense. So yeah, I just to get it off there. I think the Packers are going to be one of the worst teams in the league. They're not going to be worse than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they are going to be terrible this year.
What you're preaching. You're preaching to the choir here because I also believe that the Packers are going to go 3-14.
Jesus,
we did this separately. We came together. We just happen to have the same record for these guys. I don't see them winning a division football game.
Yeah,
that's what's scary for them.
Yeah, I don't see them winning a division game either, dude.
You go from them owning the division since like what was it, 2012, I think.
I mean, it's been the past like 30 years, but since 2012, nobody else. The Bears won the division once, and then it was Minnesota and Green Bay the other 9. So
right, which is like that's just insane. And then now they're going to go from they did take third last year, I believe, but now they're going to take the back seat. Especially for them, they have their bye in week 6. I think they win 1 game before their bye, and then after that, it's tough sledding for them. Like from weeks 7 through 13, I don't see them winning a game. They get to play Denver on the road. They have to play Minnesota. They have to play LA, the Rams, before it gets cold. So the game will be, a decent game. Matt Stafford coming back. Is Cooper Kupp healthy? That kind of thing. They have to go to Pittsburgh. They play the Chargers. They play us on Thanksgiving. And then they play the Chiefs. Like, that is a tough stretch.
I could see them squeaking out 5 wins this year, but I'm saying the top of the top. If they get more than 5 wins this year, I'll be extremely fucking surprised.
Agreed. As far as reasoning behind why I think they're going 3-14 and why I have such a down look on them, the offensive line hasn't performed as good as what they are hoping. Okay. They didn't in the free agency and in the draft, didn't really address it too much. If you're going to keep the same offense, which in the last 5 years, it's been completely based around quick hitters, misdirection, screens, and A-Rod's ability to read a defense, get up to the line, audible, hot route, hard count to get you 3 yards. Now you're going to count on Jordan Love to do the same thing. Like I don't see how it's going to, happen. I think I looked up a stat earlier. Jordan Love had an average of 2.1 seconds before he got rid of the ball on his throws in his NFL career. That is just insane. You're either A, catching and throwing right away, or A or B, catching and getting hit right away. So like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. They signed him to an extension, a contract extension with 13 million guaranteed. So like, does he have to prove that he can be the guy? Because he's getting paid. Typically you see the guys ball out when they're on their last year or two of the contract. He just got his extension. And then, like I said, after week 6, after their bye week, they go through a tough stretch. They might be 1 and what would that be? 13?
If they're 1-13, I will shit a brick.
Right. Well, 1 and 13 going against Tampa Bay, which I think they will win.
That's
but like
their dub.
At that point, what are you playing for?
They might shut Jay Love down by 1-13.
Right.
They might just go for the first pick at that point.
And now you're looking at, okay, can we draft Caleb Williams or can we draft JJ McCarthy? That kind of thing. So I don't know. It's interesting. I think Green Bay is going to struggle.
Green Bay didn't make the playoffs last year with Aaron Rodgers. They've added nothing new. So you can expect nothing but less for next year. I mean, that is everyone's expectation, but just if you think about it, they didn't add anyone that's going to help them, and they lost a better quarterback. They're going to be shite this year. Absolute shite.
And like what you're talking, they're going to rely on their defense. Their defense is supposed to be good, and we've heard that for the last few years. But at some point, if you're not scoring points, you're not getting first downs, it doesn't matter how good your defense is, because if they're out there 75% of the time, they're going to get tired.
Yeah, and they fold. I mean, that's just what happens. You can't have, a defense can only do so much. Your offense has to score points.
Amen.
And especially in the league nowadays, like I was talking about the Bears back then, the Bears were scoring touchdowns on defense consistently.
Right.
That shit don't really happen no more. And the other side of the ball is a lot more talented. People score a lot more points nowadays, and you can't get away with winning a 13-10 game, multiple times throughout the year. So
I agree.
I think their strategy or, their hope of having 2 great running backs and a good defense, it's not going to last. And those 2 running backs are going to be gone before they're sustainable on a good team, and then a complete rebuild again. That's what happens when you get in these shitty situations. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 good players. They don't do enough. They can't do enough. And you have, rookie players that you're hoping to do a lot. And by the time your vets are gone, your rookies are now shitty vets who have never won games.
Look at the Lions circa early 2000s.
Yeah, it's just a revolving door at that point. But, I'm not wishing Green Bay to be shitty, but I just expect them to be.
I wholeheartedly agree. The division's more fun when everyone's competing against each other. I just don't see it from the Packers this year.
For sure.
All right, moving on to Chicago. So Chicago, we said plus 425, third best odds, whatever, to win the division. I see them going 9-8. So I'm a little on the aggressive side, I guess, for Chicago. They have a pretty decent schedule. I think they start off pretty hot and win a couple of games that might be 50-50 or where they're even underdogs. So I'll be looking to bet Bears in an underdog situation early in the season. Justin Fields, you saw what he could do with his legs last year. He had almost no help as far as weapons on offense, and they addressed that with DJ Moore, the receiver from Carolina. I think that'll make a big difference. It's going to open it up a little bit more. Cole Kmet is only going to get better. It's hard to be as bad as they were last year is something I put also. And then they signed Tremaine Edwards. I know they had Roquan Smith and he wanted out for their defense, but Tremaine Edwards has been someone who is a good linebacker for quite some time. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually do improve, or I could easily see them being as bad as they were last year, I guess. I'm believing in them a little bit more than what I guess the public is.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I literally put as my note, I have more faith than most in the Bears this year.
There we go.
I don't know why. Other than the fact that I like Fields a lot. Like for some reason, like I watched a bunch of his games. I think he's a really good young quarterback. I don't know why so many people hate him. It's because he had so much success running the ball. People are they get into that he's a running back type
Right.
shit. He's not a quarterback. But I have tremendous amount of faith in him, and I think if he gets playmakers around him, he'll be able to make more plays.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, Komet, DJ Moore. I don't think that's enough, but I think they will show signs of upward trajectory this year. I have them somewhere around 7-10, 8-9,
Okay.
which for the division will be third, but it's a big improvement from last year. And that's what you need from, your young quarterbacks. You need growth, development. Hopefully the back end GM will get you the talent you need. But as long as Justin Fields doesn't get hurt or he's not the reason they're fucking up so many games, then this thing's going to keep going and hopefully be better down the road.
Right. And I mean, if you look at like how they did last year, they were able to score points in most games. It was just happened to be because Justin Fields would break off a 55 or a 75-yard touchdown run. And it's not going to change. He's not hurt, hopefully he stays healthy enough to do that. I don't know. I see him winning 2 division games, beating the Packers both times because they play them first game and last game. I could see it being where in the last game it's in Lambeau, obviously cold and all that, but Green Bay's not going to have anything to play for, so I don't think they do anything.
Yeah, I don't think either of them will by the end of the year.
Truth.
But they'll probably still play, Fields and stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, I like the Bears in the next 3 years rather than the Packers. Like I think the Bears are going to go up and the Packers are going to either stay right where they're at or go down.
For sure. I wholeheartedly agree.
I'm more on a Fields train than I would be a Jordan Love.
110% agree with you
I
there.
know it's probably obvious, but we've only seen a few games from Jordan Love, but there's still a lot of people that got a lot of faith in him, and a few games in the NFL, especially when they were games that didn't
matter.
Yeah, they didn't really matter. It's pretty hard to go in there and scout them too heavy.
I agree. What do you got for Minnesota?
The Vikings. All right, so they're plus 250 on DraftKings to win the division. They have probably the most reliable quarterback wide receiver combo in the league or in the division. We'll see how they can do without Delvin Cook. That was my question mark. I know they had Madison, and he was a great second running back. They have Ham as their fullback / halfback, whatever. But I'm super curious to see how they do without Cook because he busted a lot of big plays last year, and he's their screen guy. He's their route runner. He does shit out of the slot, and he's a 4-down back. So I'm curious to see how Madison does and if he can stay healthy for a whole fucking season because that's what matters as a number one running back because everyone knows they get a lot of carries and they're the most prone to get hurt. So that's my big question mark. And let's not forget last year they were deemed the luckiest team in the NFL. They were 11-0 in games decided by one score. So anything within 8 points, they were 11-0 last year. And I can remember last year just people saying like within the division, like, dude, the Vikings are so lucky. They're so lucky. They keep winning these bullshit lucky games. Like it's so close. Like it was week after week after week. You had Kirk on the fucking airplane with no shirt, rocking his chains and shit.
That was funny.
That was a fun little episode there. That was cool for the NFC North. But I got the Vikings this year going 10-7.
Okay.
Finishing second in the division. I could see them even winning the division, but I got them at 10-7. Like I said, I think they have the most reliable quarterback and wide receiver in the North, and It just comes down to how well they're going to be able to run the ball and play defense.
I can't say it much better than that. Jay Jettas and Kirk Cousins, they're something else. Jefferson might be, top 10 receiver if he keeps doing what he's doing all time. Like the kid has showed a lot and has put up crazy numbers his first 2 years.
And that's with Kirko as his quarterback.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, they got rid of Thielen, but they drafted a young explosive receiver in the first round this year. They have TJ Hawkinson, which obviously coming from Detroit, we know him pretty well. People are talking about him being the number 2 fantasy tight end this year. So it'll be interesting to see at plus 250. I don't hate the odds for them to win the division. I also have them at 10-7. So again, we picked separately. It just happened that we both picked them to go 10-7.
Yeah, we could have picked different games that we win and lose, but in the end of the day, we're at 10-7.
Right. I think the biggest thing for them is they have a tough stretch from weeks 2 through 7. They play the Eagles, they play the Chargers, they play the Chiefs, and they play the 49ers.
Holy shit, they do.
That is tough. That's a tough schedule, especially when the Eagles is a Thursday night game for week 2. So that's a quick turnaround, getting ready to go against, this Super Bowl runner up last year. They're a good team. Then they have to play the LA Chargers right after that. And then they get to play Kansas City. And Kansas City, everyone knows, is fun to watch.
Well, they're lucky that the Chargers, Chiefs, and 49ers are all at home. They got Philly away, which is one of the fucking worst places to play. Philly fans are fucking disgusting. Savages, dude. Absolute savages. So going from Philly to come home to have to play the fucking Chargers with Herbert at helm is going to be hell.
I agree. And like you were saying, luckiest team in the NFL, 11-0 in one possession games. The year prior, they were like the worst team in the NFL in one possession games. So if you look at them going from, what did they go last year? I think they lost 3 games maybe. If you regress to the mean, they're probably going to end up right around that, 9-8, 10-7, 11-6 record. So I see them winning 4 out of the 6 division games. I have them losing both to Detroit. But we'll talk about that next.
Of course. Yeah, so we'll move on to the Detroit Degens, the Detroit Lions. Everybody start mixing that Kool-Aid. Don't forget to add extra sugar. I got the Lions finishing 12-5. I'm just gonna flat out say it right now. I'm just gonna come out and say it. 12-5. It's not an easy schedule though. I'll tell you that. When I'm looking at the schedule, it was tough for me to even give us 12, to be honest, just due to our away games. Got the Chargers, Baltimore, Kansas City, and Dallas. Those games are not fun. And if it weren't for those games, I would have us winning 13 for sure. But J-Mo's out for the first 6 games. We can't forget about that. So we're a little under the weather there. This is all up to Jared Goff. In my eyes, this is all up to Jared Goff. Everyone has relaxed, and everyone's like, Jared's cool. But the thing is, he didn't have a bad season last year. If he has one bad game in the first 3 games, say he goes to Kansas City, he throws 3 picks in the first game. What's Detroit doing? Detroit is literally going to be SpongeBob on fire running through his own brain because that's all we got. And that's what we're relying on. Like Jared Goff has to be last year's Jared Goff or the Rams to the championship Jared Goff. If we don't get that Jared Goff, we're fucked. At the end of the day, we are fucked because he at his best is very average. So if he doesn't play his best, which is pretty average, I'm just going to say we're fucked. I'm not saying we're 3-15 fucked, 3-14 fucked, but we'll be dumping out some Kool-Aid for the homies, is all I'm saying. We do have a great line, and now we have another great running back tandem like we did last year. I have utmost faith in our secondary On the defensive side of the ball, we have to control the run better than we did last year, not let the Panthers go for 400 yards on us, because from looking at it on paper, our DBs are straight, our front four straight. It's going to be the rotational guys from not our front four and our linebackers that we're worried on. So we got to stay healthy. We got to control the run and make sure Jared Goff just plays average. Those are my 3 key factors for the Lions next year. I am chugging the Kool-Aid. We're still winning 12 fucking games. I've never seen that in my fucking life. But I'm still sipping the Kool-Aid, 12-5, baby.
All right. I guess I drank a little bit too much Kool-Aid before we did this. I have them at 13-4.
Sheesh. This guy is just chugging.
So I guess one of the things that you talked about, J-Mo being out the first 6 games, it is something to worry about, right? But we played a ton of games last year without him, and
For sure.
What, as far as receiver options, have we lost compared to last year? Not much.
No, we just lost like 3 tight ends. We still have all like 7 of our receivers.
Right, and we drafted a tight end that's supposed to be pretty damn good, so he better show out.
Sure.
Amon-Ra still going to get open. He is. But I guess what's nice about it being a 6-game suspension, those first 6 games, I think we go 5-6.
5-1?
5-1, sorry. 5 of 6. 5-1.
No, you're
yes.
good. You're good.
Yeah. The Chiefs, I think we lose game 1. The Chiefs have not lost a season opener since 2014.
All right, we can chill with those stats.
I'm
just kidding.
I want it to be a good game, right? Like I want it to be the Chiefs versus the Rams a couple years ago, where there was like 130 points scored.
Yeah,
but I think we do lose that game. Which, okay, that's fine. It takes the pressure off us, because if you win that game, every other game
you're going to the Super
have
Bowl,
to
baby.
win. Right?
You
Exactly.
beat the Chiefs week 1 in Arrowhead. We're going to the Super Bowl by the
Thursday night opening week. Everyone's betting. Everyone's watching, and you beat the Chiefs. If you beat them in dominating fashion, oh God, here the Kool-Aid. You better start making like coolers full, not just little pitchers full.
I think we're like plus 6.5 or something first game, and I mean we just might have to fucking hammer.
I mean, yeah.
If we lose, we lose close games.
Right. I like it. I mean, I like what you're thinking there. God bless you.
Thank you.
So for this first 6 weeks, Kansas City, I think we lose. Then I think we go on a run. Seattle, I think we avenge ourselves from last year and win that game because it's at home. Atlanta, I think we beat the brakes off of them. Green Bay on Thursday, I think we dominate Jordan Love again. We beat them in Lambeau again. Carolina, we beat the rookie quarterback. And then week 6 at Tampa. Tampa is the worst team in the NFL this year. Write it now.
Mark our words right
Right.
now. We've already said it so many times, dude. Tampa better fucking suck this year.
They're going to win the division.
They better suck.
So I think we go 5-1. J-Mo comes back. We go to Baltimore. I think we lose to Baltimore because Lamar is back. They signed OBJ. They drafted well. I do think we dropped to Baltimore. I think we beat the dysfunctional Raiders on Monday night. We go into our bye week in week 9 at 6-2. Okay, so start mixing.
I'll be so happy.
Yep. Then we play the Chargers. The Chargers in week 10 we play the Chargers. The Chargers in week 9 play Monday night, so they have a shortened week. Now they get to turn around. I'm calling it. Week 10, play 1. J-Mo is going deep, and we're hitting him on a bomb. Tutty. Let's go.
We're running a halfback dive first play. Trust me, buddy.
Trust
me.
Dan Campbell coming off the bye. he's gonna say, all right, now J-Mo's back. He's finally back with the offense. Gotten 3 weeks under his belt of practice. Let's show what this speedster can do.
Dude, you just said that. I'm so excited to watch us go for it on 4th down and have fake punts and shit like that. Because last year was electric, dude. We didn't fucking punt for shit.
Right, Panay Sewell caught a pass.
Last year, it felt like we went to the playoffs because there were so many crazy moments.
Right, and unfortunately we didn't, but we went into Green Bay in that last week and said, fuck it, we're going to
winning
beat you.
Regardless. Yeah.
It don't matter. And that's why I think we go 13-4, we win the division. I think we play Minnesota in week 16 and week 18. At that point, I think we're neck and neck with Minnesota. And because of what we showed last year, I think we get the job done. We go 2-0. We sweep the division.
That's wild.
And make the playoffs, probably as the number 1 seed at 13-4.
Bro, you gotta lay off. You gotta lay off the Kool-Aid. You're scaring me.
I'm scared myself saying these words about the Lions.
You only picked one more win than me, and I'm acting like you're the crazy guy.
Right. But, I mean, okay, so from the East, the Eagles, you can expect regression. The 49ers, the Seahawks, and whoever else is out there all beat up on each other. So, I think it's possible.
I think it's possible. I wouldn't, to be honest, I don't care for the fucking first seed. If we make the playoffs and it's not the wild card, god damn, buddy.
If we're hosting a playoff
If we are hosting a playoff game, dude, strap me to the ceiling. I won't be able to afford the tickets, but fucking put me up there, dude.
I'll be in Detroit or
just let me make
nearby.
some noise. Let me roar.
Absolutely. First play touchdown, J-Mo week 10. You heard it here first, folks. If you got the bet, place it.
All right, if that happens, I'll eat my shirt.
Clip it, boys and girls.
Clip it. I swear, I will blend it up and eat it. Trust me.
But I would, even if we do go, 9 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins, competing at the highest level under Dan Campbell is what we've shown we do. We should have swept the division last year. We only lost to Minnesota, and we dominated them in that game that we lost. We dominated the Eagles, and then we lost that game in the end. So I'm like, okay, just one more season under the belt, getting the right guys. We drafted the guys we wanted. It didn't matter what everyone else thought we did. We drafted the guys we wanted, the attitudes we wanted. We're going to be good to go.
And we got a fuckload of DBs that are ball hawks.
Exactly. And free agency, we did damn good things.
For sure. And we got vets, people that have already showed and played on high caliber teams, won playoff games, have been there, have done that.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is one of the best safeties in the league, and we got him for like a pack of bubble gum.
Yeah, we got him for the washing machine.
Right. And, I mean, the 2 corners we signed, one from the 49ers and one from the Steelers, play awesome defense. And then you just add them to the guys we already had and kept. Come on, Lions. Let's do this.
For sure, bro. I'm stoked. I think we're all stoked. What do we got, like 6 weeks?
For college football, yeah, 6 weeks. For NFL, I think we got, 8 weeks.
8 weeks. We can do it, buddy. Stay strong.
We gotta. There's no choice.
Stay strong, bro.
This is one of those days where there's literally nothing to bet on.
Dude, yesterday was the dog day of sports betting. You only had the MLB All-Star game. That is all you had. And then, I think one WNBA game. There was nothing. You're scrolling through PrizePicks. You're just scrolling. There's nothing there. Right. They're only season-long shit and stuff like that.
Right.
That was the dog day. I went to bed early.
But, okay, speaking of the All-Star game, you brought it up. That's got to be the best All-Star game out of all 4 sports, at least the major sports, right?
No, that is the best All-Star game because they have the best concept and structure around it. And if you win the game, it fucking matters.
Right. And people aren't just laying down. They are, up on their feet, ready to go. The last inning yesterday, you said you went to bed early. It was electric. When
Was it walk off or was it?
No, there was a chance for it.
Oh,
So Kimbrel was closing for the National League. He walks a guy, and then Julio Rodriguez, the Mariners like superstar,
yeah.
is coming up with a chance. If he hits a home run, it's a walk-off game, like game over. It's in Seattle. Seattle is
Oh
going
my
absolutely
God,
nuts.
yeah.
So he ended up getting walked, but it like you could cut, the
Was
air
that 2
with how much
outs?
tension. I think there was 1 out at the time, but yeah, it was. I mean, it was like what you dream of. No, it was 2 outs. You're right. It was 2 outs. So 2 outs, bottom of the ninth,
They
All-Star
walked him
game.
and didn't let him do
Yep.
his thing in Seattle. Dude, I would have closed my eyes and swung for the fences 3 fucking times. Trust me.
Well, that's pretty much what Jose Ramirez did right
Oh,
after.
of course he doesn't get a ribby, dude. We've been waiting for him to get a ribby all fucking year. That guy hasn't got a ribby for us. God damn it.
But no, it was a good game. I think it was 3-2. The NL won for the first time in damn near 10 years, I think. So
Yeah, it was like the first time in 9 years.
yeah.
So the AL has had Game 7 at home if needed for the last 8 years. Which I don't know if that ever really comes into play, like how often there are 7-game series for the World Series or not.
The only one I can think of, I think the one that the Cubs won a few years ago for the first time in a century and a half, I think that went to Game 7. But other than that, I can't think of anything.
I was going to say, like, it is a big deal, but it's not a huge deal.
Right. It doesn't have to be, but it could be.
Yeah, Game 7 is, a toss. Like, if you guys both already won 3 fucking games, it's going to be a toss-up for Game 7, no matter if you play in a parking lot or at someone's home field.
And every pitcher is going to pitch. It doesn't matter. You might have 3 pitches in you, but you're getting out there and throwing, big dog.
Yeah, you're getting a shot in your ass and you're going to throw.
Here's some Toradol. Get out there and throw.
Yeah, I just think that's like the coolest All-Star game because NBA, it's like 230 to 220. Like, this isn't even fucking basketball.
Right.
NFL doesn't even have a game anymore.
It's touch.
So what, like they're the only ones that have been able to like keep the integrity of the normal game into the All-Star game and it be able to be a success. And nobody bats an eye. Like, that's the way to do it. One thing I will say, the home run derby. That was the worst home run derby viewing experience I've ever seen in my life.
I agree.
Because you couldn't see the velo. Like, you couldn't see the ball come off the bat. You couldn't see anything. You were looking at one and then, like, where they were catching it. Like, you couldn't, like, see the swing. Like, it wasn't a full swing,
Right.
I'm, like, going back to, like, Barry Bonds days, and you're, like, watch him crack the ball, and then the camera gets it going over the fence.
Right.
But you get to see him hit the ball. And you don't really get to see it like that when they have the 2 cameras and then I don't know. It just felt weird. It didn't feel like a good visual viewing experience.
And that's the problem with the timed base home run derby. Like when they went away from, okay, you get 10 outs and that's all you get. But it's because the home run derby was going for so long. Like it was an event.
People
that
weren't
was
getting
like a game.
10 outs.
Right. Josh Hamilton hit 28 home runs before getting 10 outs. Like, Jesus. But I agree wholeheartedly. They got to do something because when the third most home runs hit in the first round is a guy that got eliminated,
that's
whack.
I
think that's wrong.
That's whack.
That's wrong. Right.
That's whack. That's just whack. I know when some people say, like, yeah, he blew his nut in the first fucking round, but still, like, it should be like a total home runs until the finals or something along those lines. Like,
right.
You get, like, I don't
It
even
shouldn't
know.
be bracket play. It should just be total home runs for everyone, and then you get put into a bracket, for 1 through 4 seeds, right? But no, I don't know did you watch the whole thing? Did you see how Adley Rutschman hit from both sides?
I did. He was switch hitting. That is the biggest power move I've ever seen.
Right.
That's like, I don't need to win. I could hit homers in both ways, bitches.
It don't matter. And my dad's pitching to me.
Yeah, dude, that's so sick. Like, going up there and switch hitting in the middle of it is insane. Like, that would have just got me. I would have gave him a round of applause just for hitting a home run left-handed.
Right. I mean,
And he was smacking them.
he was
His
smacking
over
them.
under for the first round was like 17 and a half. And he
Right.
had like 26 first round homers.
Boom. Yep.
May or may not have had him.
I did drop in and say Pete Alonso and over 499, and then I felt like an absolute idiot. I talked to this dude on my other Discord, and he's like, "You do know that juiced Barry Bonds, is the one who's hit the furthest home run in this ballpark, and it was 478 feet."
Oh my God.
And I was like, "You got to be shitting me."
So nobody went over 478, I would imagine.
There was one went 484, but
Oh
that
my
was the
God.
closest. And I was like, "Oh no! If juiced Barry in his prime can't hit the ball 500 feet in this stadium, ain't nobody hitting
You're
the ball
like,
500 feet."
was it really windy that day? Or
Right?
something?
Yeah, the wind was coming in. Right?
Vladdy won.
He did.
Him and his pops have now
First
won.
time.
Yeah, first time ever a father-son duo has won the home run contest, home run derby.
Yep. And then they got to look at doing something about getting like a pitching machine or something, because
Yeah, dude, there was a couple of those pitch. Did you see like I forget what
they
it's
show
called.
all four.
Yeah,
pitches.
at one, like,
Yeah.
dude, his guy's throwing sinkers on him.
Right.
I forget
and
who
that's
it
the guy
was.
I picked.
That was Pete.
Alonso. Yeah.
Dude, whoever his pitcher is, and I heard he got a new one this year. He's not the same one that he's had the last few years.
Correct.
I seen that. I was like, dude, he's fucked up for that.
I was literally screaming at the television, "I could throw better than this. This is bullshit." You're trying to strike him out.
Yeah, you want him to hit the ball, right?
Right. You're not trying to show off your arm here, dude.
Dude, it's split in 4 different ways. He's up there trying to read the laces on fucking warm-up tosses, dude.
Yep. It was just terrible. I was like, gosh dang, of course, it's the one dude I put money on. Like, come on.
That's how it is. I didn't put any bread on winners. It's easy to say. It's easy. I would take Vlad. It's easy to say after the fact.
I would have took Vlad Jr. for sure.
It's easy. That's what everyone says after.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the favorite was. Who was the favorite?
Pete Alonso.
No, Pete was the favorite. Okay.
Yep. And then I think this will probably be the last year they ever have kids on the outfield. I don't know if you saw.
Oh my God, that kid has a baseball on his eye, dude.
His sunglasses just went boom.
Dude, they're still in the air. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it looks like Tyson gave him a 2-piece combo.
Right.
Oh
with
my
sunglasses
God,
on.
Dude, his eye is swollen shut all the way out to his nose.
I saw someone tweeted, "You can't tell me you love your kid if you're
sending him out there,
voluntarily sending him out there to shag balls from Vlad Guerrero."
Dude, they just wanted free tickets, bro.
Right.
They're
my kid will do it. Get out there.
Dude, imagine your parents though. Like, I know my dad would be like, "Yeah, Jordan Riley, get the fuck out there. Go catch a ball,
Right.
Dude. Catch me one too, motherfuckers."
Right.
I can guarantee you that's what my pops would do. So
Ray would have been screaming, "Get your ass up. Let's go."
You still got one eye.
You couldn't see anyways. Let's go.
Yeah, no shit. Good thing I brought your contacts.
Right.
That's good shit.
Good God.
All right, buddy. Well, what you
Wrap
got
it
for
up.
me? You got anything to wrap up with?
Nope. I think the next thing we're gonna probably do a Saturday one, and maybe get into a little college football or go through a couple divisions more of the NFL.
I think I want to do some college football. If we're gonna do a Saturday, let's just pretend we're waking up for the game. Be like 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Get a beer in me. Yep, there you go. You already knew. Get a beer in me. Get ready for the countdown. We'll run through like Big 10 and probably maybe Big 12 or we'll do Big 10 and then like a smaller division or something like the Pac or something like that.
Okay, perfect.
All right, dope. Well, that is gonna do it for episode 18 of the Third Leg Podcast. As always, we appreciate you guys so much, and we can't wait for you guys to hear us next time.
Peace.
Peace.